Hey, so we're live. Don't know how long it's going to be today. It's Beltane. Yay, Beltane. So get my thoughts sort of in my head. So the blade I'm working on, or this piece of Damascus I was working on earlier in the week, because it's Beltane, normally in the past I usually do a seasonal blade, so one for the fall, one for the spring. Now because of my back and everything, I didn't get a chance to do one last year. I did do one last spring. It was just basically a straight blade. It was from a piece of spring steel. And seeing how this is the first Damascus I've tried in years, I'm going to make this into basically my Beltane blade. So hopefully it'll work out. I'll talk about that in a second as soon as I get the forge fired up here. Already done my inspection for the morning. Boy, see some of the slag there. Alright, here we go. Woo! Thundery fire. What's Beltane without fire, right? So while that's firing up and getting running for a bit, warming up, talk about what I did since Monday. A few other things I've been working on, but this one, what I did is I cleaned up my billet, cut it into segments, added in a little more bandsaw steel, which I have. So I've come out to be about 1.5 pounds of steel, so about a pound. I figure I'll get about a pound billet blade out of it, which is what I kind of want. My W2 and my 1060 is in here. Right, and then these guys on the outside edge are again another high carbon steel, continuous bandsaw blade from a mill, and an older blade. Some of the modern blades you get, it's only the cutting edge, right? That actually has a teeth that actually have any carbon steel in it. The rest of it is just a band to hold it together. So. Anyway, I've made a sandwich out of it, cleaned it up, redressed it, got it ready to go. So that's going to be going in there in a minute or two. I did a short 5-minute live here, not live, but a 5-minute video here, which kind of talks and addresses some of the mistakes I've been making. Again, I'm still relearning what it is I've been doing, getting things backwards, kind of like the whole thing with why do I put the flux on after, as I'm pulling a piece out of the fire. Again, the big problem with flux is it will destroy brick. Grabbing one here. So this is the old floor from last year. It started out looking like that, so you can see what happens to it over time, and that's just the effect that the flux has on the brick. It starts off looking like that, and then it just eats it, right? Chews it all up. So I try to avoid putting the flux in and doing damage and prematurely killing the floor of my forge and burning through. So now there are liners and concretes I can get that will be highly resistant to the flux. So in this situation, I'm just making the choice that I'm going to burn my floor a little bit out. So the problem with fluxing first, as you're coming out, is you're going to lose lots of temperature between here and here, right? And you want as much temperature as possible when you're doing your welds, because you want those welds to stick. So fluxing as, flux off after, basically flux, take your scale off as you go back into the forge, clean the excess off before you put in there to help minimize the damage you're going to do to the floor. To the song and dance thing. Hey Wayne, hey Will. Again, the other thing I addressed in that short video I did was posture. Nick pointed out to me how much I was leaning over my anvil as opposed to standing up straight. I've been noticing doing a lot of work, stretches, working out, stretches, trying to get back into shape. So my low back has been giving me a hard time. If I'm bending over and reaching and trying to pound in this direction, right, I'm causing all sorts of problems. So I need to stand. I want to be able to stand closer to my work. I want to be able to lay the piece I'm working on flat, and I want to be able to strike in such a way that I'm in line with my body. The blade blow. The hammer blows are coming down parallel to my chest. I'm not leaning over and pounding. So either one, I've got to come in closer and strike, maybe raise my anvil up a little bit so I'm striking up in here so I can stand a little further back so I'm not leaning. And I'm probably going to end up doing that with my next stump. Mainly because if I'm standing in this close, I have a tendency of being close to the heat a lot. So, even though I'm covered in leather, there are openings and areas that I can get hot material down in, and I want to try to avoid that. Alright, I'm going to close the door on this guy. So the beauty of using a 100-pound tank, even with all the work I've been doing, I've only used about 50 pounds. I'm going to have to get propane next week. Now, if you have the advantage of being on natural gas, oh, blessing. Alright. I thought I heard something drop in there, but I'm not seeing anything. So I got about a 1-inch feed tube going in here. I'm over 350 cubic inch. And that's the size of the actual fireplace inside. So one burner like this is more than, with this size and this feed, is more than sufficient for this forge. So it's going to take about 8, 9, 10 minutes for that to get up to a temperature where we can actually get it to weld. Give me time to change my gloves out. That's it. Have it work. So we're probably gonna do a fire here tonight. Clean off the old man who's out there. So I have noticed noticed that I have missed comments of people who have come on and then left. I try really, really hard to go back, answer any questions, take note of any pointers. So the other thing too is that don't, if you feel you've missed something or I've missed something, just PM me later. If you have questions about, what is it I use for lining, or, where am I sourcing my bricks and that kind of thing, I'll try to answer that as well. Also, I can try to put you, if I don't know, I will try to put you in touch with smiths that are way smarter and way more experienced than I am in this. I mean, my videos are mostly about the whole learn by doing thing. And sharing the experience of getting back into this. Now, later, we'll get into the whole thing about finishing, doing handles. That is something I've always loved. But I also want to get into the whole chasing, repoussé, casting, fittings, all that stuff that goes into everything else that we do. And again, if there's something that I have experience in that you guys want to see, please let me know. One thing about being all shut up right now and locked up in quarantine, not moving around, is we're not getting a lot of chances to visit each other's studios or get to places where we can do workshops. And I was really, really looking forward to doing that this year. It was the whole idea behind getting the second forge in here set up, getting the mobile foundry going. Furnace, actually, not foundry, furnace, because I want to do bronze casting, but I want to be able to do that at events, places that we go, workshops, so that people can get a chance to get some hands-on experience and see it for themselves. Also connecting with other smiths. The whole idea this year was to try to do the whole I-5 corridor, go down, visit people that I know along that road. People that I haven't seen in a lot of years. Nick and Devin and all sorts of smiths that I've lost track of. Some of Mishka's students I'd love to meet. Okay, we're getting to that point where it's smash make flat time. So, move to the big black gloves. As Mr. Hillstead pointed out to me, I'd like you to have all your body parts. Besides, it's hard to lift mead, wine, and ale on Beltane if your hands are all wrapped up. Use this big smash make flat hammer. Yeah, we're just about there. Yes, we are there. I'm just going to give it a heat on the other side. Just make sure. Alright, here we go. Excited. Now, I can feel myself leaning forward. I'm going to have to draw lines on the lines down on the concrete here. You can see how the flux and scale, if I'm rubbing on it, I still don't have a brush, but see how it's, I don't know, I hope you can see how it's coming off. Now that liquid, goopy stuff, that's what gets in there and reacts with your liner. And the hell out of it. There we go. My door. Cinch my armpits. Now, I was talking a little bit earlier about when you're setting your forge up and your burner size. If you have too big a burner going into too small a space, you can cause all sorts of problems with negative pressure in your forge. So bigger is not necessarily better when it comes to burners. So I'm using, like I said, I've used retired old propane tanks as my casings. You don't have to. I mean, for crying out loud, you can. I had this brick one over here forever, and that was what I used to use. Just holding the whole thing together with ready threaded bar, and it works fine. But with the propane tanks, the next one I want to do is I want to use a 35 pounder. An old 35-pound casing. I want to be able to use two burners in it, open at both ends so that I can get back, do some through and throughs. But again, having the right type of burners that are appropriate to the volume of your finished forge. So once you've got your liner all in, once you put in your cement, close the whole thing in, that area, those cubic inches that you have in there, that is what you determine how big a burner you've got. For me. Match made glass. Far away. See how I was leaning? They're getting closer here. I gotta get out of that habit. That's already welded. So, whoop. I use a lot of flux. Probably don't need to use quite as much. I don't know if you can see how shiny that is as the liquid, the borax reacts. I know a friend of mine, Craig, he's looking at my production values of my videos. I think that's kind of funny. So, I'm not doing how-to videos. If I was doing how-to videos, I'd probably have somebody in here shooting scenes. It'd be great. We'd focus on particular parts of what I'm doing. And we'll get to that one day. Hopefully, when I've got better equipment and somebody is willing to just spend their time shooting. So I could do that. I could set that up by myself, but then I'm not actually forging. I'm focusing on the scenes and what it is I'm trying to shoot. And while I would love to be able to do that, that's not what's driving me here. More or less what I'm shooting here is my experience of getting back in. You get to watch me forgetting things. You get to watch the triumphs of, hey, I did this, it's amazing. And I get to share the experience with people. So the sad thing about this whole thing with COVID is the fact that the people I would have in here, normally I have 4 or 5 people here. probably got about 2.5 hours into this thing, maybe 2 hours. So if this was a Forge and Fire episode, I would probably be in big trouble. Hey, wave chime. But I am so rusty, I would not even dream. I think it was under 30, no. The last time I made a piece of box Tabascus, I was probably 32 years old. Hey Asher. Angela. See you. See you. Happy Beltane, everybody. So yeah, this piece will end up turning into a sax. Saxes are kind of my signature thing. Sax buoy is probably my favorite knife to do. As far as knives are concerned. Axes are my thing. I love making axes. You can never have enough axes, as far as I'm concerned. Too far away. Get closer. Standing up straighter. Try to keep your control of your hammer. Michigan's magic powder. I'm going to do one more pass just to make sure that the welds are happy. Then I'm going to probably draw this out a little bit. I don't want to draw too far because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist this puppy once I get it to an appropriate length. Take it up to heat. Once I get it drawn out a bit, squared up, I'm going to take it into the vise at temperature, get my pipe wrench out, and twist it. Eventually what I want is all those layers that I put in there now, I want to be able to show those in a contrast on the side of the blade. And I want to do it as a twist. All the steel I've got in there is pretty good. So I'm not too concerned about which one is going to be the steel on my edge. So lives are Monday and Friday. If I can't do one, I'll try to give at least a few hours notice. People who tend to tune in. And then again, everything I do live will be available on my Facebook. They're also on my Patreon if people are interested in that kind of thing. To patrons only for the most part. So once they're gone from Facebook, that's where they are. There's an archive of them there, going back to my really primitive, bad, horrible videos, which I'll probably get rid of at some point. The idea of Patreon, of course, is to bring enough money in through patrons that are willing to watch this kind of thing and learn a little bit. Hopefully be inspired. Damn. I've got COVID. No. throw a couple of bucks in a month. And what I do with that money is I put that directly towards buying new gear, new equipment, paying for my gas, raw materials. Hopefully, as time goes on, producing better and better videos and how-tos nice and hot. There we go. Squish, 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 big butt, big butt. I don't know if you can see how that scale is bouncing off, but that's what good flux does for you. The next pass, drawing this out so it's thinner but still square. Looks so greasy. Darren, I don't know if you're on now or whether you'll be on later. I hope I answered your questions regarding installation and where to find it. I think going online is your best bet. The cement liner, the cement mix that I use for this, DT100 high temperature. Okay, I got that right. Kiln bricks, they work. I find, however, that once you get up into that 2300 degree range, they start to break down very quickly. And it's the same thing too with the 100. Is that you've got to watch your temperature range on it. Let's face it, some of the cheaper stuff you can get is just that, cheaper stuff. The other person, Darren, you've moved to Kelowna, I think, haven't you? Yeah. So you're more our way now. I was informed that Princess Auto is now carrying some forge products, insulating blanket, that kind of thing. Something to check out. After all, it's a good Canadian company. Out of Winnipeg, I believe. I mean, sometimes they don't have the best equipment and stuff in there, but I'd rather support something Canadian right now. My mindset. Alright, here we go. Squish, squish, squish. Closer. Pass. 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 Trying to hold these videos to about an hour. To give you an idea of real time, I mean, I'm not much faster than an actual probably a beginner right now. Also, there's certain things you just can't hurry. I think if you're going to start up playing with your own forge, start simple. Get used to, first off, get used to the fire. Get used to the flame. Don't be afraid of it, but learn to respect it right from the get-go. Normally with students, I play with old files, good ones, railway spikes, good steel that you can find in old broken tools. I'm looking for a garret. Things like decent axe heads, you know, and I'm talking about the ones that are forged that you know are good steel all the way through. I mean, I always look for different stamps. You can look stamps up. Normally things like this axe has a stamp in here. Usually has some place where it's made in the USA. There you go. The reason for that is you want steel that's good all the way through, not just a hardened edge. Because you can end up with some of the cheaper axes and things that you find around. All you've got is decent steel in the edge. The rest of it is mild. That's not what you want. It's the same with hammers, etc. But anyway, I like to use that. Good cold chisels. But again, be really careful about what you're picking. Otherwise, go to your metal supermarket. You can buy good steels to play with to start. Good spring steels are good. Carlise springs, older Carlise springs. Ouch, get closer. feel the breath of the forge. Feel it on my arms. The way I am. Can't bend 90 degrees at the waist, so when I have to reach out and pick up something, that's why I'm pushing my leg out behind me. So the water here is for emergencies, but it's mostly to keep my tools cool. If I was using tongs, they'd be going in there on a semi-regular basis. Burns happen. So one thing, you've always got scale flying up, you've always got the potential of something bouncing off the, in this case, the long piece of rebar I have here, the weld could let go. Alright, so there's always a risk of being burned. The important thing is don't panic. I have a fire extinguisher close by. I have water. I have sand. I work on a large concrete surface. I keep my combustibles away. Be smart. Turn my heat down just a touch. Coming up on time pretty quick. Hit it again. Always hit it. Found with the hammers and that I've got right now that I've ever had to reharden them. This guy I've been using probably 25 years. And I've never had to do anything with him. He was ancient when I got him. I have no idea how old he was. He was bought in a estate sale of a second-hand shop up in Airdrie in Alberta. Bill's Used Tools. I don't think they're around anymore. My God, the treasures we used to find in there. My first anvil, decent anvil, I got for 50 bucks. It was 100 pounds. Blessing, that's what that was. My dog is probably
Don't scare my dog.
shaking in her boots right now.
No, she's like, what? Is that your billet?
Yes, that's my billet, love. Herald sighting, everybody with the bingo card. Yeah, I'm too far away from the anvil again. So that was a little bit of the borax caught between the anvil and the hot spot.
It's warm enough that I'm outside in bare feet. Yay!
You know, every time you say things like that, people in Craig in Calgary cries. You know that, right? I mean, it's Beltane. It must be snowing there. bourbon break. Now I'll probably go with this until my arm is dead. It's not so much because I'm using my arm all the time, but with the ligatures in the top here, they're not great. And like I said, I've got no bicep. Watching my heat here. And I know Craig probably wants us to have better angles. Wants to be able to look into the fire. Now a lot of the time too, and this is probably the nature of the video, the way the tablet works, the way the lens works. A lot of times when I'm pulling this out, to you guys on that end of the video, it probably looks pretty white. For me, it's a lot more in the yellows. But then like I said, I'm blessed out here. This is really good lighting. It's only in the afternoons, later in the summer, when the sun is coming through the back here. If it's on my work, it can really bleach out the color of anything I'm pulling out of the forge. So I'm going to have to do something with that this year. There we go. Nice weld though, which is good. So I'm going to continue drawing this out. I think what we'll do is on Monday, we'll try twisting it live, see how that works. So again, like I said, if you've got questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments, or again, you can message me directly. If you feel like supporting what we're doing and helping out and contributing, you can find us on Patreon. There, on my Iron Wolf page, there's a button there, right at the bottom of the banner, which will take you directly to my Patreon. And once a year, I've got, and I owe a couple of people a couple of things right now, but hopefully now that I'm feeling better, I'll be able to get those out. Once a year, we do a draw of anybody new with Patreon for a piece of artwork out of Iron Wolf. Hopefully, and there's a threshold for that as well. I mean, if I've got one patron, they're just going to get a toy. I'll send them something. It'll be cool, trust me. And hopefully, if we're going to do this Beltane next year, that's when we'll do the draw. We'll do the draw on Beltane, and I can actually do it here live. That'd be cool. I think that'd be fun. Providing we're all still alive and COVID hasn't killed everyone. And that we've all been smart and stayed safe. I'm going to do one more pass on this, and then I think that's it for the live feed for today, and we'll just put this one into the video. Archive. Go. Woo! See what I mean about slide? That was straight off my face. you too when I get finished with this for the day. If I can get a temperature down to the point, I'll cut the screw off of it and I'll weigh it and I'll tell you exactly what I lost. Because again, we lose something in the fire, right? I mean, it's possible to destroy your work by overcooking it. It's like anything else when you're cooking. Thank you, Angela. Very much appreciated. The mouth of Loki is normally what we refer to the forge as. That's traditional. As for the practice swords that we use when we're doing our pel work, we tend to. I don't make those. I haven't made anything that long. They're commercially available. I believe the ones we're using right now are all Paul Chen's. Other thing we're probably hoping to do, or we're hoping to do this year, I should say, was we were really hoping to do a couple of blooms. Basically creating a furnace, blast furnace, taking magnetite or other ore, iron-based ores, and basically creating our own blooms of good workable iron. Taking that iron and working it towards being blade, etc. Gentleman I know here, Kelly Bax, he's very keen about doing one. I haven't done one in a few years, or been part of one in a number of years. But again, COVID's got us all shut down, so that just gives us a few more passes. I think we're pretty much done here for this one today. Everything you're going to see now is going to be rinse and repeat. So like I said, if you've got questions or if you've got pointers, other smiths, hey, let me know. Tell me what I'm forgetting. It's like going through an old filing cabinet and finding stuff that you just completely forgotten about. And believe me, I've been doing my review. I just frustrating sometimes how much you forget. Okay, that's my last one for video. Put some stuff on here. I'm going to keep working. This will be ready for Monday. So in between time, you guys have a great Beltane from the forge. Drums and fire from Iron Bull. Have a great one. Hope you have bonfire tonight. If you do, share it on video. Because even though we have to isolate, it doesn't mean we can't be together virtually. So, have a great new year. Just take one last look and see what questions we've got, if anybody. Good to know. Yep, no problem, Angela. You guys all have a great weekend. We're done here. I'll check the comments later. Probably put up some photographs as well.